Hey everybody, it's Brian. I am standing next to the Donate Life bell. That was a gift to me from my friend Elizabeth. And I just upgraded the flag. Of course, it looks backwards to you because of the camera, but my other flag, it had hung here for I think about 2 years, and it was faded and torn, and it just looked terrible. So I got a new one. You can find these on Amazon, and it's got a little sleeve here. You can use it as a yard flag. You could fly it off of the back of your vehicle or whatever. I have no affiliation with the creator of this product, but I think it's great to get the message out there about the importance of organ donation. Let's give the bell a ring, shall we? That's awesome, isn't it? Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Hey, just another mindless task that I've been putting off. When I received the anchor, it was kind of knotted up in a ball. And so just getting the anchor rope undone so I can properly store it up in the anchor hatch. I've got a new latch for the anchor hatch. The little pull ring that you put your finger in and lift the hatch up has been broken off. And funny, I ordered one, and they come in sets of 2. I only need one. Misplaced the 2 that I ordered, and looked. I mean, I looked everywhere I could possibly think. What? Talking to Facebook world. Looked everywhere, couldn't find it. Looked for like a day, and then night before last, I was up on the boat, and I lifted up the solar panel that's on the stern of the boat, and that's where they were. They were under the panel. The 2 new ones I had ordered had already arrived, so now I have 4 of them. But that's fine. I'll send them back to Amazon. I installed new weather stripping today in the forward hatch. The weather stripping was in really bad shape, and the port was leaking, and the hatch was leaking, and that took 2 rounds of boarding also. First round, the rubber trim piece wouldn't fit. It was too small, so I had to order another one. All right, let's see what we got going on here. It is hot out tonight. That is a knot I cannot identify. What do we got going on here? We got 2 knots. So we'll get it down and try to make it 1 knot. So I think we've made a decision as far as paint goes, and I appreciate your 2 cents, but a couple of people that I admire have said, Brian, you really have to paint the boat green, and you know the reason you're not painting it's green is because it's going to be more expensive. And they pretty much told me if I don't do it, it's going to bug me forever. So it's going to be green. Okay, she's gone. She likes to eavesdrop when I'm making videos. She'll sneak up on me and listen. Almost got this unknotted. Good God, it's a lot of rope. Rope's in good shape. It's probably not seen much time in the water at all. I mean, other than a little bit of rust on it, just from being in proximity to the chain. The chain's another story. It's not nearly enough of it. It's like 3 feet of chain when there ought to be 16 feet of chain. So that's gonna get swapped out. Hey, looky there. Oh, that was the last knot. Okay, now let's find the end and let's properly get this rope put up. We're gonna do loops. So, like I was saying, she's over there. Green paint. I found the color. It's a little brighter than the last one I had posted. I think it's called Chartreuse Green. It's glorious. I've already initiated a return on the green striping. I've already got an order ready to place for white and blue striping and white names, white Port City. It's just a matter of pulling the trigger. Well, no, it's a matter of having the money, let's be honest. The paint's gonna be about $500. Don't know if that's including shipping or not, and tax. Probably 5 1/4. That's gonna hurt. And then the striping is it's about 250 more. You hear the owl in the woods? All right, so we've got our rope. I got the top part of our chain here. End of our rope. Just gonna get this kind of looped off on the top until I can actually properly install it into the anchor locker after I fix that pull latch. Right now it's a bear to open. There. I can hang that from the rail. The chain just fell. That's fine. Oh, I see exactly what happened. That owl's really talking. Let's get this loop. It wants to pull back because the chain's heavy. We'll just do that, and now it's not going to go anywhere. See? Now I can just drop the anchor right here after it spins out, and that's a tiny. That's the kind of anchor you might use for a rowboat, not a 3,500 pound boat. That'll be upgraded. Although, you know, I don't know how often I'll anchor, but if I'm going to anchor, you want a good anchor. What if I want to camp out for an evening and not have my boat float away or end up on the rocks? So I'm just going to tie this off to the boat rail with a half hitch. There. Ta-da! Up off the ground. Stay clean and dry. Anchor's up here out of the way. Look at that. That's a teeny tiny anchor. Look at it compared to the size of my hand. I mean, that's got to be not even a foot across. Maybe. That's not a lot of anchor to hold this boat in place. I think it was Facebook Marketplace. I saw a wonderful anchor for sale for 150 bucks. I can't remember the brand name, but it's a shovel. It's a wedge. It's got the big rail over the top. They're the nicest anchors. This is what they use in blue water. Maybe I'll buy that one. Don't tell Susan. So what I've done here, I've put on my blue stripe. This is painter's tape. Tomorrow I'm going to paint the bottom side. At least what I can get to and reach comfortably and not retweak my back. My back's feeling a lot better the past 2 days, but it is still definitely tender. I mean, it feels like somebody hit me in the back with a bat. It's just, it's not comfortable. So bending down in here and reaching above my head, probably not awesome. Probably gonna aggravate things. But you know, it's not horrible. You get down in here, you can really sit on the ground and almost kind of lay down in that space there, paint up above your head. It's not a lot of painting. It's not a lot of space to cover. But I'll paint everything I can. I'll try to paint the keel. I can take the side runners off that are on the sides of the keel. They don't make actual contact, but I can pull at least those 2 front bolts. Okay, it's 1 front bolt. Should be 2. Pull that 1 front bolt, let that thing drop down, paint that side of the keel, and just pop it back up. And then I'll figure out after we've coated the bottom, at least with 2 coats, let her dry, and then I'll figure out how I'm going to get where the pads are. When we moved the boat on the trailer, when we slid it forward, we did a little retweaking. This wasn't even touching after we pulled the boat forward 2 feet. I had to literally loosen it and raise it up. And it's because the boat's sitting sideways. Well, it's not sideways. It's crooked. Its ass is crooked to these risers. And so this side's kind of low and the other side's pretty high. You see the height difference here? What do we got? About 4 inches here. Over there, it's about 7. That's not normal. Worries me a little bit. I'm kind of surprised he hauled this thing sitting more than 2 feet back on the trailer. This thing could have caught air and flipped over. But the trailer was doing this number on him. It was wagging the dog. So he was only doing 50 miles an hour from Oklahoma. Took forever to get here. And I don't blame him because it was probably scary as shit. So she sits properly on the trailer, the best I can get her without actually having a boom pick up the rear end of this thing and move it over, readjust the pads it's resting on. But anyway, what I can do is I can put a jack stand under the back of the boat where this barrel is, and I can lift the back of the boat, get these so they're in the air a little bit, take the weight off of them, drop them down, paint one, let it dry, put it back, drop the other, paint it, put it back. And I think at that point, I can get the height of these corrected. I can get them equal and kind of help square this thing up a little bit. 1,100 pound keel full of lead. That's a solid piece of lead wrapped in fiberglass. I mean, that's an enormous amount of weight. So it'll be interesting to move this boat around a little bit. You know, in total, she's, I believe, 3,600 pounds or 3,400 pounds plus the trailer. So I don't know, relatively speaking, she's not that heavy, but certainly more than I want to take a chance of dropping or flipping the trailer, which could happen. That'd be scary as shit. So as you can see, I've corrected all the yuckiness in the hull. Okay, there's one I missed. It's tiny, but you're not going to see that. This was a great big scrape. This was a great big scrape. This was a gash into the fiberglass. Smooth, you can't see it. Well, you can probably see it a little bit. Once we paint this, however, you won't see any of that. It'll be gone. So from here down to here will be green, 3-inch white stripe about here. It'll be green up here. So green paint, 3-inch white stripe, 3/4 inch blue stripe, and then a blue stripe with a white stripe on the bottom is my water line. That's gonna look good. And then we'll name her on the back. Patience, Baldwin City, Kansas. And dude, I cannot wait to paint this boat. It's gonna look amazing. And the cool thing is, it's not that much to paint. I mean, with this gel coat epoxy paint with wax, it dries tacky. So I can literally roll it on, come back roll it, let it dry to a tack, second coat it with wax again, dry to a tack, and then I can come back and I can hit it with no wax gel coat, and it'll dry acrylic hard and shiny. It's going to be awesome. So that's what's going on. All right, I'm sitting in the anchor locker, and I've replaced, we talked earlier about the 4 pieces that I now own to replace the 1 piece. So this contains a little ring, and you can put your finger in it and you can grab the ring and pull the latch open. Well, the ring's been busted off. So, brand new. See, that's the ring. Oop, just like that, you can pull her open. That's pretty awesome. So the anchor sits in this locker with its chain. It's got a groove right here. See the groove? And your rope can come up out of there. This boat does not have a fair lead for an anchor. And it probably doesn't need one. They sell them pretty cheap if I wanted one, but honestly my forestay is in the way. That's the forestay. Normally a fair lead could attach to the front of the boat here, and so the chain would come out of this groove. It would hit the forestay, which is a piece of stainless. It protects the deck, and it's a channel with 2 sides, and it runs to the front of the deck, and then your anchor can hang over, or it can lay on top, and you can pin it in place. So it's just sitting there, stowed so it doesn't move. And then when you need it, you pull the pin, drop your anchor over, and pay out the chain and then the line. And then you tie your line off to your cleat, and then put a springer on there. So you're not actually pulling on the boat with, well, I guess we wouldn't need a springer with this. We don't have an anchor winch. Just tie it to the boat. So yeah, you cleat off your line. Remaining line you don't need, just stays in the locker here. That's a drain, so when you bring your anchor back in and it's wet, all the water and moisture can drain right down through there. It's a little scupper that drains out the very front of the boat. There's a little hole in the nose and the bow. I climbed up over the rail, over the pulpit here to get on the boat. 10 out of 10 don't recommend at 52 years old. It was awkward. But doing that gave me the opportunity to notice, oh wait, I'm stuck, sorry. This, right here, this is some chipping. And that's a definite no. You can see bare fiberglass under there. So I'm gonna have to pull this cleat, fix that, and then reinstall the cleat. You know, if you're gonna reinstall something, why not upgrade it, right? I mean, do you know what I mean? Shiny chrome new cleats might look really good on the bow of the boat. Fellas at the yacht club, like, ooh, those are nice looking cleats on your little boat there. Shh, don't tell Susan. New cleats are gonna get work, for sure. There's my navigation light. It's attached to the pulpit here. Let me see, I'll stand up and I'll show you the front of it. I looked and looked and looked for this model. I couldn't find the exact one. There it is. So green on the right, red on the left. These are some cool, the white lights on either side. Some nav lights, those are cool. I couldn't find that. So it's getting replaced. It didn't work at all, the non-functional. It's getting replaced, it's on order. And it'll be just like that, but just the green and the red. And that tells people, hey, I am A, in the water at night, and B, you can tell which direction I'm going by what side the green or red is on. Green denotes starboard, red is port. So here's the boat looking from the anchor locker. So that's the camping cover I put on the top. This is a shade cover over the hatch. I just reinstalled new gasket all the way around that hatch. It's gonna need another secure point. So inside it's got these two screws that you turn, and the screw gets tighter and longer and pushes against the hull of the boat on the top side of the ceiling, essentially pulling that hatch shut on two sides. Well, it's got a little lip right here. Actually, I can even feel it right there. And it's even wearing in the canvas. The canvas is old. It's a little gappy, and you know, if a big wave came over the bow, water would get in. So I've ordered another tie down screw. I'm gonna install it in the front here so I can have 3 closure points that are tight. The bump on top is a solar driven exhaust fan to help pull heat out of the boat. This mess is wiring that's going up the mast, or supposed to be going up the mast. I guess some of it does. The black little one is my radio wire. It's the antenna wire that's supposed to connect to a wire that's in the mast and run all the way to the top to an antenna. That whole length is missing, and the antenna is missing. And I have yet to decide if I'm going to replace that or not. And well, is it required? Do I have to have a working radio? And B, do I want to spend the money on it if it's not required? The radio's there, it's in the boat. And it would just be a matter of buying new wire and a little antenna that mounts all the way up there. And it's funny, I can see a little piece of wire. If you look up this rope here, let me see if you're looking up the rope. I think you're looking up the rope. If you look up the rope, at the very, very top, you see a piece of wire sticking off the top of the mast. That might be the antenna wire, if we're lucky. But when I put the mast up, I didn't see a piece of wire to connect to. But that doesn't mean it's not in the mast and it's maybe just stuck up in the hole. The white stuff with tape on it, which looks like lamp wire from the 1980s, and Romex, that's my power running up the mast to my running light, or I guess that's my, is that my anchor light? No, I don't remember. I think it's just a running light and a deck light. So one shines down on the deck, makes it lit up at night, and then another one shines out so you can see me on the water. I think it's a night nav light. Surprisingly, it still works. I was going to buy another one, but I was real surprised to see that it's functional. My outer shroud over here, so the shrouds are these 4 wires, 2 here in the V shape, 2 here in the V shape. They hold the mast from going side to side this way. The forestay is right behind me, and the backstay keeps it from going forward or back. On my outside starboard shroud has a bubble in it, and it's because the wire was twisted probably when somebody tightened that turnbuckle down there, and the wire was probably twisting instead of the turnbuckle tightening, and so the wire has unspooled on itself up there a little bit, creating a bubble in the wire. I got to replace that because it weakens the wire, and that's stainless steel wire. It won't be cheap, and it's going to be a huge pain in the ass, and I have to drop the mast to do it. And I have to swedge on ends up there and down here. You see the top parts, those are lead. They're kind of greenish color. Those are the the swedges that are holding the wire at that attachment point around a loop. So the wire has looped back onto itself. The swedge is squeezed in and it holds it. It has to be the exact same wire, the exact same length. It can't be any different whatsoever. And then we'll have to retune the rigging. Yay! And I'll need a $200 device to do it that I don't own. Maybe I can borrow one, hopefully, from the yacht club. But it's a meter that you actually hook onto the wire, and you can pull a little bit, and it measures the tension on that stay or shroud, and it has to be equal. You have to have equal pressure at all points around the boat to keep the mast centered. So that'll be fun. And it's this little stuff that it seems like, oh, it's going to be real easy to do. No. It's going to take an entire day to do it. And I'll find some problem or something else that will need to be fixed along the way. So, don't get me wrong, I love doing it, but it's also frustrating because I want to get this thing in the water so bad this year. But the closer we get into having to paint and have to save up money to get the paint, have to pay my membership dues at the club, that seems to get pushed back, and I'm hemorrhaging money. It's just, I don't have enough of it to finish this project. And I'm trying to, if I can get paint and I can get a couple other things fixed, I think I'm ready just to splash and go. And maybe next year we can paint the deck. And the deck looks rough. And I'm hoping maybe a really good wash with some dish soap and really hand wash it hard. God, maybe even take it to the car wash and just wash the piss out of it and then wax the hell out of it. Maybe it'll look a whole lot better. But I kind of see myself in the future painting gel coat on the top and then a nice sand color on the grip. This is where you walk and you step, and it's a non-skid to keep you from falling off the boat. It'd look fantastic, and at that point it'd almost be a new boat. I've given some real serious thought. These are called lifelines here. They are to help keep you from falling off the boat while you're underway, and I really like the look of a solid metal pipe. These are stanchions that come up from the deck, and I can take the wire off and the cap off, and I could put a stainless steel top that'll accept a 1-inch stainless rod and go from this stanchion to that stanchion to the back stanchion. It would look sick. And it provides a little more rigidity. So when you're walking on the deck, so these things, they're not that high. They're kind of mid-low thigh, and you don't lean against them. You're always leaning towards the boat, and you're always holding onto something inside the boat. But if you needed to, you could put your thigh up against it and brace a little bit. And a hard pipe, I think, looks better and feels better from a safety standpoint, if that makes sense. It looks sick. And I don't love see how slack that is? It moves. And it's not just here, it moves a lot down there. Why it comes down at an angle here is so the jib can swing over and the jib's not impeded by the wire. I've tightened that thing up as much as I can, and without actually taking it apart and rebuilding it or replacing the wire entirely. And that's probably what needs to be done. It's probably from 1983. And it's worn out. It's stretched out. It looks good. There were plastic casings over this, and it's now against, I think it's, is it ASA rules? I don't know if it's ASA. But I know if you're a racing boat, you cannot put plastic over these anymore. The plastic traps the water into the wire and can promote rusting from the inside. And the thing is, sometimes you won't see the rust in the wire. And who knows, when you need it the most to keep you from falling off the boat, it could fail. And overboard you go. So I'm going to get out of this I want to get out of this anchor locker. I gather my tools. Uh-oh, dropped a screw. And let's go back to the back of the boat. Okay. That's the anchor locker from above. There she is. So, brand new hatch. I don't know what's going on here with these two screws. I don't know why they were there. I also don't know what that pulley is all about. There's a random, cheap, and that is a cheap pulley. I don't know if he was running some kind of line for the jib, maybe. I don't know why you would. It would be weird to have a line to a jib there. Maybe he doesn't have a spinnaker for the boat, so I don't know why that's there. That's about all I can show you from this viewpoint. I sure do like looking up there, though. It gives me a real good feeling. I got to replace my telltales up there, the little ratty ribbon that's rotted off, and those are gone. But just like the nav lights, you have a red and a green side, and you're able to look up and see which way the apparent wind is blowing. Pretty cool. I got those in the shop, but I got to take the mast down to put them up. See you later. Here's an interesting little update. So this Rockna anchor I found on Facebook Marketplace, I talked her down to $100. I'll be going to get it tomorrow. It's almost a $500 anchor. Pretty awesome. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.